All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. This is for our vendors, and today we have someone special with us. This is Pattrick Wisler from Mithos Racing Leathers. As a lot of people know, they joined with us last year and are a vendor, a sponsor with Fast Tracks, and we got quite a few coaches now that have got some leathers made by Mithos, are really nice looking, look like good quality and stuff. So today we're talking to Pattrick to get a little bit more info and fill everybody in on, what the how the company, where it got started and how this is, and a little bit of ins and outs of everything. So how are we doing today, Pattrick?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
Very good. How's the weather out there in California?
I'm not in California.
Oh,
I'm
you're
in
not?
Canada.
Oh, you're in
No,
Canada. Okay, I thought it was
I'm in
California.
Canada. I'm on Vancouver Island, and it's pretty cool little rainy day today. But so far, we had really nice early spring weather. Let's call it that way.
Yeah. Did you guys get pretty hit that like a couple weeks ago?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too
wasn't
bad.
wasn't bad at all.
Right on. Well, yeah. Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get into it. I got a list of questions here, and we'll kind of go through whatever. But so, like, basically for riders who don't know your brand yet, who are you, and what makes your suits differ from other brands on the market, and what's your position? I already asked you this beforehand, but just kind of what's your role in the company, and a little bit about the brand and that whatnot.
Uh, I am part owner of Mithos Racing North America together with my wife. She's the other part owner. We run the company since 2.5 years. We took over from Mithos USA. They went out of business in 2023, early spring, let's say 2023. Then it was, yeah, going up and down a little bit. So we got connected with the guy that helped out in Los Angeles, and so we founded Mithos Racing North America because it was important to us to include Canada. I live in Canada. I do have the Canadian passport today, and I ride in Canada. So it is very interesting for me if I go to tracks in Canada. Some of the guys have outstanding, great stuff. They got good leathers, everything, and some of them have, like, let's say, older suits, maybe not that safe anymore. And that came to my attention, and so it was important to me that we can include Canada into our business as well. That's why we named it. Mithos Racing North America and no longer Mithos USA. Our suits are of very good quality. They are heavier than other suits because we have thicker leather that we are using. We buy our own leather. Our kangaroo leather we buy ourselves. The cow leather will provided by the factory, but it's of top-notch quality. It is very important to us to be safe. That's the most important part in the whole game. Of course, at the end of the day, if the suit looks nice, if we have a good design with patches, some people want crazy things on their suits. And if we can make that happen, if it looks good as a second thing, then that's even better. But our main goal is to keep people safe on track. We all know it can be dangerous. And I hear very often people saying, I don't need that. I don't go fast. And we all know it can happen that we crash. Nobody wants to talk about it. But these things happen. And for this moment, we want to be protected.
Right on. The Do you have probably in Canada, I would assume, but do you have support like pro racers? Is there do you have a pro racer lineup or ambassadors or whatever you want to call that are using your suits? I mean, are there we have like some of the manufacturers that are in America, obviously, especially on the Moto America grid and stuff. We have some riders that are they're whatever other custom suit manufacturers alongside the big name brands or whatever. Do you support any Moto America riders or any Canadian Superbike or any of that stuff?
Yes, we do have a program in place for young talents. So we have Torin Collins with us, who does the Moto America
Yep.
in the Super Sport Series, and we also have Lincoln Scott. He's a really nice young kid. He's 15 or 16 years old. He does the CIF, Italian CIF Junior Championship over in Italy. We also have other riders that do the Canadian nationals in super sport or in super bikes. So we try to support the young talents with participation from our side. Unfortunately, our company is small and the budget is tight, like everywhere. So we cannot do free suits off the bat. What we like to do is we offer a decent discount, and we want to get to know this person. We want to know the goals of this person. What's the goal in which series? And so we build the client, we build the talent for a certain amount. And if the kid reaches his goals by the end of the year, he gets his money back.
Oh,
That's the deal.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, we want to have a commitment from the rider side, because I raced a couple of years over in Europe and it was only club racing, but it was good level club racing. I know how things can go. You crash once or twice, and then, the enthusiasm is slowed down a little bit. And therefore, I want the commitment from the young talent. And then we get to know each other, we learn about each other. And if the person reaches the goals, he would get the money back by the end of the season.
Awesome. That's very cool. It's a lot different than some of the other brands where it's kind of like, okay, here's your requirements list. You submit like an application essentially and whatever. But it's good because like it keeps that rider to stick to their promise. To as far as the performing and on the marketing side too. I imagine there's probably some standards you guys have or whatever. I do want to touch on. You said you race and stuff. What's your background with road racing?
I did a couple seasons in good level club racing over in Europe. So I've been to many European tracks. The list is very long. I should say where I haven't been. I haven't ridden Assen. I haven't ridden Spa. I haven't ridden Le Mans. And beside that, there was many tracks that I've been to. You name it, like Mugello, etc., etc. The list is long. So that's what I did over many years. And even today, if I go back to Europe, I still own a bike over in Europe, and I'm very good connected to all my friends, my former racing friends. So every now and then when I'm over in Europe, I take my van and load my bike and go to some tracks. And there is track riding, having fun, and go for a good lap time for yourself. And every now and then there is some of those club racing level races happening there, which I every now and then participate in. But I'm getting older, and so it's up to the young guys now.
Yep. I got a couple more things, different things to cover, but I do want to touch on how was it that you hooked up with Malachar and Fast Tracks, and how this your relationship kind of started?
That was very interesting. A good friend of mine, Steve Winnie, who is from Ohio, he connected me with Michael Malachar, and because he's a very enthusiastic rider, and he's in a Mithos suit ever since. He loves the product, and when I jumped in, I'm in a Mithos suit, by the way, ever since they're on the market. So I had my crashes. I know what I'm talking about. It's a good quality product, and Steve Winnie is thinking the same way. So he was nice enough to connect me with Michael Malachar at Fast Tracks. That's how it started.
Yeah, Steve is he puts on some private track days, and I rode with him a couple of his private track day stuff. Great guy, and he puts on a nice little event. It's hard to get those private track days. It's awesome to be able to have that. And yeah, Steve's a good guy. And Malachar, yeah, he's super enthusiastic, and I'm grateful for him to keep it Fast Tracks alive, and bringing me on to coach and stuff. It's been a joy. We love it. So moving on here. So safeties, and high priority, obviously. If I'm a new track guy or club racer, I'm on a budget. What should I prioritize? Um, and leather thickness, armor, um, you know, fit, stitching. Like, what do you think is the priority for somebody who's on a budget that they really need to look for?
In my opinion, a person that has a completely normal body shape can always buy an off the rack suit. I would never say they're not good. There is very good products available, and if it fits you, it might be perfect. It might be good enough
Do you?
to
Sorry
go
to
and ride.
interrupt, but do you have do you only do custom fit, or do you have like Mythos that are off the rack?
No, we do not have off the rack.
Okay.
Our suits are all made to measure, and that's the big difference. Like there is people that are 6'5" and 160 pounds. They will have a hard time to find an off the rack suit that's going to fit. So not that I want to say we only have big or tall people or whatever. We do have all sorts of people, because if it comes to the perfect fit, it is very a big portion of the safety of the suit. So again, if somebody fits into an off the rack suit, I think this is definitely a way to go, because our suits, they are not cheap. They are definitely not cheap. What I think, what everybody should consider is Tech Air, is an airbag system, because it is available for us today. Of course, it costs money. It is our no-brainer. It's our insurance policy. If we go down and we fall onto our shoulders, the collarbone is very often a big thing. Then the ribs, etc., etc. So, since it is available for everybody, my opinion, track riding, airbag, in my opinion, mandatory.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit because so I've been using an airbag setup for I don't know, probably 5 years now. The first suit I got with an airbag was Dainese D-Air, and then I had a custom suit done by a different manufacturer, which I won't name them, but I will. I have some gripes, and I'm curious to see your input on some of the questions I had. But that was Tech Air compatible, so I ran that, and then one of my big gripes, and is why I moved to an RST suit, and because I just bought that RST suit, then literally I think 6 months later is when Fast Tracks and Mythos kind of had that relationship. So I just bought a suit. I'm like, man, that stinks because I just paid for a suit. I'll have to wait till later to get a custom. But my big gripe is with the D-Air. I loved it because I didn't have to put something on and then put the leathers over top. And, with the Tech Air, I think at the time they discontinued the Alpine Star Race airbag, which you could zip into the inside. And I think it was the Tech Air 5. I think now it's a 7X or whatever. But, I mean, there's several different models, but it still seems to be a pain in the butt. The Tech Air 5 was the worst, but it gets a little bit better with the Tech Air 7X and stuff. But me personally, I prefer one that's integrated into the suit. It makes getting it on and off a lot easier. Hence why when I went with the RST, because it's got an integrated system, it's not their own. It's that in motion or whatever. But are you guys at any point looking towards partnering with anybody to do integration?
Yes, this is something that Mythos does ever since it was possible. So our suit is certified by Alpine Stars to have the patch on the bottom. Not only this, to have the Tech Air system integrated into the suit. So in our Mythos suits, you can have the former Tech Air Race integrated into the suit, as well as the Tech Air 7X.
And
The
those
other systems from Alpine Stars, they're not meant to be integrated.
So, like the Tech Air 5, you can, but it's like a vest thing, and then you wear that under. But the Tech Air 7 actually goes between the liner and the leathers, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. That's correct.
Awesome.
We do have two different. There is two different setups, But we at Mithos, we always go with the setup that the airbag will be between the leather and the liner. So we drop the liner, we remove the liner, we put the airbag inside the suit, attached with Velcros at the upper arm, shoulder, and zippers on the side of your chest. And then you bring back up the liner. So if you look into the suit, you wouldn't even notice that there is an airbag. Of course, there is a stiffness because it's at the same time a back protector, and as well as there is additional weight. But from the look at the things, you wouldn't even notice that there is an airbag installed.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just my point of view. Anybody that's thinking about going airbag, definitely get one that's integrated between the liner. It's so much easier to get get your suit on and off. It feels just like a normal suit.
Agree.
Speaking of, with the Alpine Star, the Tech Air 7, it's got a back protector integrated into it. So I've heard this question a couple times, like, what does that mean? Do I still have to run the back protector, the suit back protector? Do you get rid of that then?
Yeah, you get rid of that. You only have the airbag. The airbag has an integrated back protector already. If it would not deploy for some reason, then this would protect you from getting hurt on your back. But the 7X, as well as all the other systems from Alpine Stars, are very, very reliable. And we used to have problems, and I know what I'm talking about. We at Mithos Racing North America, we are an officially certified Alpine Star service center. So we had it happen 2 years ago, approximately, that there was some issues every now and then with the Tech Air 10. But ever since about 2.5 years, there was a new firmware update, and ever since, these problems are resolved. So even the Tech Air 10 that had every now and then a bad reputation on the internet is fully safe. It's a no-brainer, absolutely.
Fantastic. So what is if someone's looking at suits, and let's take the airbag out of it because that's a separate cost or whatever, that really increases the cost of the suit or whatever. But like, if somebody's looking at we have a big, huge superstore down here near me in Columbus, Ohio, Iron Pony, and they'll have a lot of times they'll have like leftover 20, let's say it's 2024 one-piece suits that a manufacturer still had a bulk of, and they do like a huge buy and do like a clearance type sale on this stuff. What is the difference between, outside of the clearance side of it, but like a $700 suit and a $1,500 suit from you? You know what I mean? What are the main differences that come into play in that?
One of the main differences is definitely the made to measure. So every suit that's being produced at Mithos is made to measure. So every suit has its own pattern, and it was new to me as well that it's so detailed. But we had it happen every now and then that the factory would phone us and say, you have to remeasure something on this person because the pattern maker cannot make the suit. And I was like, oh, what's that all about? So every suit gets its own pattern. And it's really important to mention that it is made to measure. So that's what you get. That's what your body is, compared to the off-the-rack suit that you every now and then have to live with some compromise. But on the other side, what is definitely a really nice thing, how you can customize the look of your suit. So you can play with the colors, you can have your own color scheme. So we do have, on our website, we do have 8 templates, base templates where you can pick from. So you can open the configurator and you can play with the colors. Like every part of the suit, you can have a different color. And on top of that, you can add patches. So you can have name patches, company patches, whatever. So you can basically, even the look, really customize completely. And I think that's a big difference compared to an off-the-rack suit. If it's yellow, it's yellow. If it's blue, it's blue. There's not much you can do. Of course, you could add patches to it. But yeah, this is all done in-house at the factory at Mithos Racing.
So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but in your opinion, how important is like that custom fit for a rider, club racer, et cetera, versus like an off the rack one? I mean, like, what are the huge advantages for that custom fit?
The custom fit is that the armors sit at the right position. The arm is not too tight, the arm is not too loose. Same with the torso, same with the legs. Imagine if you would have like a shorter guy, 5'10" or something, and 250 pounds. he will have a suit that's going to be too long with the forearms. It's going to be too long with the legs. So it will be too loose around the arm. So if he crashes, the armor will rotate, and chances that he gets hurt are significantly higher than if he has a suit, cut made to measure. It ends at the right spot. It is the right circumference, etc. These are the things that are significantly different between an off the rack that kind of fit or even doesn't fit compared to the made to measure suit. Again, somebody that is a really unproblematic body shape, and he finds a 54 that's going to fit him well, or a 56, there's chances that you can find this suit. Definitely is. But if it comes to all the parts of the suit, it can be tricky.
Yeah, and I mean, just in my personal perspective, the more comfortable you are in your gear, the easier it is to ride. I mean, like to do those movements and hang off the bike. It's just the restrictions gone, right? One thing I know, especially new people, like they'll go and try on a suit. They put the suit on. They're like, man, this is tight. How tight should a race suit actually feel when you're trying it on? On the bike, obviously, is different. And, that's what a lot of people don't understand, especially when the new one is like, you get in that riding position, everything kind of loosens up because it's kind of formed to that. But, like, when someone's, trying that suit on, how tight should that feel?
If you get a made-to-measure suit delivered and you jump in it for the first time, you will have a hard time to zip it up. It will be snug. It will be tight. It will be tight from crotch to shoulder. It will be tight all over your body. The things that should not be too tight is the forearms, because they don't stretch that much. There will be room in the upper arm, because if it's airbag compatible, I should say, we add a little bit of leather in case it deploys, so there is room for the bladder to expand. But the rest of the suit will be snug. It will be tight. We ask our client to do 3 sweaty days on track to break it in. If people don't give us the chance of 3 sweaty days to break it in, chances that we won't success are very high. It's made to measure. So this is what you get. We add a couple centimeters according to our experience, mostly circumferences, chest, etc., to make it more comfortable. But the suit is cut as a racing suit. It's meant to be in a tuck position on a motorcycle. It's not meant to be zipped up and leaning towards a coffee bar all day long. It will be uncomfortable. And this is something, you're laughing. This is something that people, they laugh if I say that in an intro meeting, but when they get their suit, it's not from crotch to shoulder. That's what I told you.
Yeah.
I told you it's going to be snug from crotch to shoulder. And if you zip it open, you can stand comfortably. If it's all the way zipped up, it might be uncomfortable, especially for us guys, because snug from crotch to shoulder means, you know what I mean?
Yep. And that's something you learn once you've, worn quite a few suits, that like, yeah, it's supposed to be like that, Let's see here.
One other thing, if I'm allowed to, what I would like
sure.
to mention is made to measure. What is the perfect fit? The perfect fit. Every human being is different. So we had 2 pro racers, one from the Motor America and the CSBK, and the other guy from the CSBK. So they had each of them had a suit, and they fit exactly the same. So the one guy would say, that's too snug. I can't move. I cannot move my body. And the other guy that races really professionally since years would say, that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying. You have 2 similar people getting their suits. And the one person would say, that's much too tight. The other person would say, no, that's too loose. I don't like that. And this is the very, very, very hard part for us to meet the expectation of this person.
Yep.
If I'm talking to a guy that does racing since 25 years, let's say professionally or top level club racing, they know what to expect. A person that buys the first suit, it's very, very difficult to find out what the expectation from this person is.
Yeah, and that's probably, people that don't have the knowledge going in buying their first suit, they might buy one that's too big, which is actually unsafe because that armor moves around, because they're just trying to be comfortable in it standing. And also, like you said, yeah, I mean, even a brand new off the rack suit, if it fits tight, it takes time. It's just like, pair of work boots or something. They need broke in and formed to you. You know, that heat and the sweat, it really does loosen the leather, stretches it out, conforms to you, and then it just fits like a glove for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And something in addition that I every now and then experience is, do people do they take care about their suits?
Right.
No.
What's so
Desalter. So a desalter. Have you ever used a desalter
I
on
have
your
not.
suit?
I usually either I've used what's this stuff called now? Crap, I can't remember. Leatherique, or send it out to get cleaned or whatever. But yeah, that's a really great question of like, what do you recommend to maintain your leathers and how often?
We recommend having the desalter in use. What it does, as the name says, it desalts the leather. So what we should do, and these are all efforts, and every now and then I notice that people are not willing to do the effort. So what that means, you remove the liner completely. You remove the airbag if there is one, and then you let the suit dry, not in the sun. You let it dry in your heating room or wherever in your garage where it's going to dry slowly and certainly. And then you would spray the in and the outside with desalter. If you sweat a lot, then you will do that twice. In between, you allow it to dry. After you did that twice and it dried off, you would take a conditioner and spray the in and outside. If I see people maintaining their suits, they spray the outside like crazy. Most of the sweat is coming from the inside.
Right.
Nobody ever cleans and desalts the inside of the leathers, and this is where the suit will fail. Our suits, they have double layer leather in all the impact zones, like the forearm and the butt area, and there you can clearly tell if it has ever been maintained from the inside, yes or no.
What
And removing the liner, removing the airbag, removing the inner armors, and then spray everything inside, outside, it takes quite a while. So if you're done with the inside, you carry on with the outside. You're doing the same process on the outside. And then after doing the desalter in and outside, you would do the conditioner in and outside, and then you put everything back in. It's an effort, but it has to be done. If you don't do it, I can exactly tell what's going to happen. The leather gets hard and it gets worn out, and at day X, it will break like a cardboard. And if this is going to happen when you slide at 100 miles on asphalt, you will have a good day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What are the the ramifications of not doing that? Like, what's the act of the salt has on the leather? But yeah, that's a great explanation of that.
I can show you a sample if you want.
Sure, yeah, it'd be fantastic.
I do have a sample here for you. This suit was fairly maintained, not on the in and not on the outside, and that's what it looks like.
Oh wow, yeah,
That's what it looks like. It literally, I could tear it open with two fingers. You see?
yeah. It just sounds like cardboard. You're right.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like cardboard. If you go down on that suit on track at 100 miles, oh my God, I would not want to follow that.
Yeah,
So
it'll
the
just
effort,
disintegrate
the effort, everybody must be aware of what we are doing can be dangerous. It is dangerous, actually.
for sure.
And if it comes to a crash, we appreciate a good suit. And maintaining the suit is part of having it safe.
Right. You're when you invest the money in there, you want to, get the your money's worth out of it. So why not do the maintenance to keep the longevity or whatever?
Yeah.
Is there any like proprietary materials or anything that you guys use? Some suits have maybe like stingray in certain areas or, whatever it may be, titanium sliders. Is there anything that you guys use that maybe some other manufacturers don't, or specific placement of things or anything like that?
Our outer armor is a plastic armor. We don't want to go titanium or something. It has a honeycomb structure. It's pretty sophisticated. Outer armor. It can also be replaced from a tailor in case of a crash, for instance. And we do have different inner armors, which is the Sastec armor that comes with the suit. And in addition, we do have the Paramount armor, which is the best inner armor on the market. It is German engineered. It is of very good quality. It has a huge, very high crash absorbance. And the big benefit on this armor is it's soft and comfortable to wear from the get-go, whereas the SASTAC is a little bit harder. And this guy remains firm even if you ride in hot conditions. If you ride in hot conditions and your body heats up, the leather heats up, outside temperature is very high, other inner armors, they tend to get soft, and then they would not have the same crash absorbance anymore, whereas this guy does.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
The kind of speaking on that, and then also fitment and safety and stuff. The one custom suit that I had, which I'm not going to name brand or anything, but when I got it, everything, it fit like I thought it would fit. The first weekend I had it out, I could only wear it one day. It was like most of the stuff was okay. Where it was killing me was in the knees. I mean, it was so bad that like I just couldn't wear it the second day. The following weekend, I gave it probably 4 weekends of break-in to, okay, let's see where this goes. And it just still would rub my knees so raw. I tried changing out the knee armor. It didn't help. I could never figure out why it was doing it, but it just was making my knees so sore and rubbed raw. I just couldn't wear the suit anymore and end up, going to a different suit the next year. When people see things like that, I mean, probably what I should have done is, contact them and said, hey, can we get this resolved? But, where do you think that like those issues come from? What's the mistake there?
Possibly it's a knee circumference problem. If the knee circumference is too small, then you have pressure on your knee or on the inside of the knee. It can cause pain. It can rub and it can, be very, very uncomfortable. So the knee circumference is very important when we measure somebody. Everywhere where there's muscle, it's soft kind of thing. The knee is not, and the knee, the suit in the knee area will not stretch. It will remain the same because there's no stretch panel there behind. In the behind of the knee, there's a little bit of stretch panel, but that doesn't really stretch a hell lot, and there is not much leather that's going to expand. So it's not going to break in. So the knees is the same thing like the forearms. We don't want that to be too tight. With the forearms, we do have a big positive point. So we can stretch it a little bit, the leather, because there is more leather in the forearm area, and we can customize that a little bit, not having the suit to be altered. But the knee area, if the knee is too small, there is no other way than get it altered.
Another question is, let's say a rider has a crash. What damage is repairable versus, okay, it's time to retire the suit. Where between those things, kind of like, what's the unrepairable version of it, and like, how do you kind of how is a customer once they do crash, what they're looking at to decide if it's repairable or new or whatever? I mean, what's the best route to go on that, and how do you pick those things out?
I always say if you had a crash and there is a seam damage, go and see a tailor. Those are the pros. They can tell you what's possible. Can they replace some part of the leather? Can they replace a seam or a zipper or whatever? If you had a decent get off, go and see a tailor. That's always what I recommend. Even in my case, if I go down, I look at my suit, there's a little bit of color missing, it was rubbing a little bit on my shoulder, that's all good to go. But as soon as a seam is involved, I strongly recommend go and see a tailor. Because I'm not a tailor. Of course, I can flip the suit inside out and I can see how the seam is done. But did it take damage? It's I would say every now and then it's very difficult to determine for us as not professional tailors.
Okay. Is there any, like, I don't know what you want to call it, like features that are kind of overhyped in suits now? Do you have any input on that? Like if there's any trends that are like, it's kind of a fad thing, it doesn't really add anything to the suit. Is there anything like that you see?
Not, not that I know of. Some, I mean, we hear a lot of things that they want to change from leather to other materials. So far, if you look in the pro racer scene, there's everything is leather. Of course, the stretch panel gets more and more, but the main areas where you would have an impact is leather. So
That's an
I don't
interesting.
know if there is a lot of things going on.
That's an interesting thing you said because, like, I watch MotoGP, I watch World Superbike, I club race and watch Moto America and have been there and whatnot. And it's MotoGP, the amount of stretch panels they have is huge. Down the side, it's so wide. Is there what's obviously movement wise? There's a huge benefit for that, but like, are we? Is that like sacrificing some safety in that? And why are there not more non GP suits, I guess, or whatever, like club racer or whatever, your custom suits or whoever, Dainese off the rack, doesn't matter, but like why are we not seeing that same amount of stretch panel and stuff?
I think the stretch panel is definitely not as strong as the leather itself. Of course, it gives you more ability to move in your suit. I'm pretty sure that's the way it is. But every brand has strategy what they want to do, and our cut from the suit is as it is. It has a stretch panel on the side of the body to allow you more movement. It has a accordion panel that's in a certain way and in a certain strength, so to give you some ability to move. But we will never be at the MotoGP level, and we should never forget these guys go through maybe 25, 30 suits in a season.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
go
say
through
they're
one suit in 10 years.
yeah, that's probably why they if they crash it, just go grab a brand new one and head out. But yeah,
Yeah, I've seen these suits at Alpine stores in Osolo in Italy. I walked through that department where they do the suits for Quartararo and Marquez and all these guys, and I wasn't able to touch one of the suits. I would never do that. I would ask, of course, but it didn't happen. But I assume these suits are super thin, they're super light, and
yeah,
movement is everything. And they do have a special airbag built inside the suit that's going to protect the full body, not just like the 7X does the upper body and the back and the chest. It would also do the hips, as we see if it deploys. You can see how it blows up the hip part of it too. It seems to be like a Tech Air 10 built into the suit. That's what it looks like to me.
yeah. That's funny you say that because like when I watch GP and stuff, I'm like, man, those suits look like paper thin. It's crazy how thin they look. But yeah, like you said, how many suits they get to go through. I mean, it's all free. They're just rotating them out when they need them, whatever. So yeah, there is that. Where like for club racers, track day goers, we want to get a crash or two out of them. We can't, you can't afford to just keep buying a brand new suit every time you go down.
Yeah, I mean, if the pro racer crashes and he gets hurt, he rubs his skin and, it goes through the leather, that's part of the game.
Yep.
The track day rider doesn't want that.
Right. So let's see here. Do I have any other ones? Is there any like new technology in race suits? I mean, there's been slight things on the way up in the last 15 years or whatever. But is there anything new coming down the pipeline that you've heard about for I don't know, improvements in suits? That's like a new technology or anything? I don't know. I'm just asking to see if there is anything.
We are talking, we at Mithos, I can just speak for us. We are possibly changing some of the outer armors because we had it happen that especially the knee armor would be a little bit too big, a little bit too thick for especially shorter people, so that they would, instead of grinding the knee puck, they would every now and then touch with the outer armor. So those are things that we try to improve. We already improved the cuffs. The cuffs at the arm, they are different now. We did improvement to the collar, so there is a steady improvement. But that's not only in terms of material. This can be in terms of measurements and how much we add to a certain measurement. It's a steady improvement process.
Copy. I'll have two questions. The first one is just because I'm curious myself. Do you guys offer like hydration setups in those?
We used to have that in our suits when we had the Tech Air race, but since the Tech Air 7X has a bigger hump, due to the electronics and the canisters. This is going to eat up all the room in the hump. So right now there is no hydration possible in the Mithos suit.
Gotcha. So we'll get to here in a minute. We'll have you pull up your website and kind of walk through some stuff. But for for anybody who is so they're interested, they're going to get a suit. How do they go about contacting you, and what's the process? Can you walk us through a process from the first contact, who you're calling, to when they receive their suit? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, of course. If I can share my screen.
Yep. 1 second here. Let me bring this up. Okay. Let me see if I have you up here. Screen share. Let's see. Do we have it? Oh, hold on 1 second, sir. Do we have that? Why isn't that not showing? Is that it? I think that's it. Yep, that's it. Go ahead.
Okay, so at the bottom of our website, you can see contact details, which is the phone number and the email address. So whenever somebody is interested in more information, you can always reach out to us through the phone or through email. So our website, mithosracing.com, is the North American website. It's not mythos.com, it's mithosracing.com. The other website is for Switzerland with the European pricing, Swiss pricing, etc. So if you are on our website, you will see our suits. It explains about our suits: advanced safety, custom design, semi-custom design, flat track suits, which we do as well. Then we talk about the fit. We talk about, it's not actually retail locations, it's partner locations. Then we do have an ambassador program, which is what we do with the fast tracks guys. And then there is a little con about Mithos. So let's say somebody is interested in a suit. The process, what we do is we set up a Zoom meeting for an intro meeting. We want to talk to this person first. We want to get to know this person. We want to know how long this person is riding. Is there track riding involved? Is racing involved? How much is the experience? To what I mentioned before, try to find out what will this person expectation be. This is very important to us to get to know the client a little bit. There are so many different people that have different expectations from how a suit should fit, that we want to know from the get-go who are we talking to. So after this intro meeting, we would collect all the information in that intro meeting. We also collect all the information about possible suit options. Like suit options can be kangaroo leather versus cow leather. Are you using a chest protector, yes or no? Do you need a chest protector? Do you want SASTEC inner armors or the upgraded Paramount inner armors? Then we talk about the option: do you wear your suit in your boot, over your inner boot, or over the boot? We come to the tech air side of things. We talk about, do you want to do tech air? Do you want it to be integrated into your suit or wear as a standalone? And then we come to the perforation of the suit, which is a full, medium, minimal, and none. And I've sold one medium and the rest is full perforation. And then we come to the design. So if we talk about design, it's interesting. On our website, you can go on to semi-custom design. You click on this. It also explains about the order process, the pricing, etc. You can scroll down. You will see 8 of our templates. If you stay within one of these templates, you can build your own. Click on build your own. It will open the configurator. As soon as that's open, you will see in the top left corner, you will see the pricing. You can play with Tech Air compatibility, which is no Tech Air Race, which is always installed, integrated into the suit, the 7X integrated into the suit. It's not the same integration like the Race. The zipper position is slightly different. You can wear a Tech Air 7X in a Tech Air Race prepped suit, but it is slightly better if it's prepped for a 7X. This is why that's separate. Then you can choose the Tech Air under, so you wear it as a standalone, the 7X, or you have the Tech Air 5 Plasma, or you have the Tech Air 10. So after you have made your choice here, you can play with the leather. You can choose between cow and kangaroo. You can choose the inner armors, which is the SASTEC or the Paramount. In the top left corner, you see how the pricing changes. It's all in US dollars. And then it's the fun part. You can play with the colors. So you can literally every part of the suit, you can alter to whatever you have in mind. You can play around. And these options, or this option with the colors, we call semi-custom. It does not add any cost to the suit. What we then have is semi-custom plus 2. That allows you to have 2 patches on your suit. Let's say your first name on the chest, your last name on the back. This is $150 US. We do print on leather, which is screen print, so there is no gradients possible. It is straight colors, but it looks very nice. They improved the quality of the print significantly over the last 1.5 years. We get really, really nice looking suits. So it's printed on leather, and it's a leather patch that will be sewn onto the suit. If you have, for instance, your name on your back or on your butt, we would do this in cut leather. So they would cut the leather out and do a background color with another cut leather patch. They would build your name. It pops out, kind of 3D effect. It looks really nice. That's what we do. We can also do some pattern printing, like in the underarms or the lower legs, like you see at MotoGP. But our company or our factory is not capable to do is print sponsor patches directly onto the leather. This is unfortunately not possible.
I mean, honestly, I prefer what you guys do because a lot of the custom suits I've seen that print directly to leather, that it wears off very quickly.
Very fast, yeah. I mean, we all, or many of us have seen Toprak, Razgatlioglu, BMW, former Superbike champion on the BMW. After one race, the BMW sign was half gone.
Yeah.
And that's a factory racer. So
Yeah.
I assume it's a good quality leather suit. But thank you very much for mentioning that. That's the big difference. And if you crash and your patch is worn, you can take it off.
Yeah.
And put another one on.
Yep.
Printed suit, done.
Yep.
So that's about our suits. So if you would want to have 2 patches again, we call it semi-custom plus 2. You get 2 patches for $150 US. If you want to have several patches, multiple patches, no matter how many, it's semi-custom plus 2, $250.
Gotcha.
So no matter how many you want, no matter where you want them, the factory will put them on. You can have your company logo on a printed patch, or all we need is a vector file to take it in Illustrator and have it in a good quality printed on your patch, and the patch will go on your suit. So this is something that is really nice, and people appreciate that. There is a big demand for that look of the suit. So people always want to look good. That's 100% true. So when you're done doing your color alterations, you can click on Submit Design, and it will pop up on our side. We put it in Illustrator. We connect with you and talk about the patches you're going to have, and we will do changes, whatever you want. Or you can download it for your own records if you want to see it later on. So this is all possible on our website. We call it semi-custom design. Or you can go full custom design. It's basically a blank canvas, and you can have whatever you want on that suit. It tells about the process. It can also have some printed pattern on the suit. And then if you scroll down, you will see samples that have been done or maybe haven't been done. You can click through. There is some videos you can see about very nice suits. The same thing you can see, of course, I forgot to mention, on your semi-custom site. There is pictures and photos and movies from suits that we've done. So that will give you an idea what's possible. So that's about the process. Again, we do the intro meeting. We send out the email with the quote. The quote is going to include everything, all the costs. And then in the same email, there will be a PayPal link for your deposit. We ask a $1,500 deposit. We will send out the fitting kit. If we cannot measure you in person, we will send out the fitting kit, which is one of these black bags. It has a tape measure in it. It has some marks in it, like those straps that will go over the body of the person, as well as those red dots that we put on the person. And then we will set up a Zoom meeting with you and guide your willing helper through the process. It is very important that the person that is helping doing the measurements is willing. If this person has a time issue and it's a big rush, it won't work. It does not work. Everybody must be in a good mood, must be, cool and easy. It needs about 45 minutes to an hour to go through that measuring process. We take 32 measurements from a guy and 4 more from a girl to be sure that the suit will fit. And this process actually works pretty good. But it is, again, very important that we have a good reception through the internet, good camera, and we every now and then must tilt the camera up and down a little bit to allow us to see, is the measuring process done properly or not. If we screw up the measurements, the suit is made to measure. There's not much more that I have to say.
Is there, okay, so the process is done, the person receives their suit. If there's an issue, do you like them, if there's anything they notice right away, do you still like them to go, hey, go out, get 3 days in it, hot and sweaty, and then come back and then we'll gauge if there is an issue? Or if there's is there something that, maybe that's like blatantly an issue for the person? Do you like them to get with you right away, or how does that work?
If there is an issue, we want the person to let us know. And that's another thing that we absolutely don't like. If somebody receives the suit in April and they would not ride till November, the suit is just there and time goes by. Or after a year, it happened after a year. Oh, I tried on my suit, it didn't fit. We have to somehow know earlier if there is a fitting issue, because if this person has changed in this amount of time, we don't know. Some people gain weight, some people lose weight, and then it can be very difficult to find out what's the problem. But anyways, we want to know if there is a problem with a Mithos suit. The earlier, the better. Most likely people are super excited when they know, oh, my suit is on the way to my address. Then they would wait for the suit. They would immediately jump into the suit. And this is something that we really like to do. We want to be part in a final fitting meeting where we can see this person putting on the suit, because our inner armors, they are movable. They are in similar bags like this. So they do have Velcro on it. So they can be moved up and down and they can be rotated inside the suit. And if these armors are not in the right position, we will have a fitting issue from the get-go. If the person does not give us the chance to jump in a Zoom meeting, we cannot help adjusting these armors. So then it gets more and more difficult. So if there is an obvious error from the factory, and it's all human being involved, even at the factory, it's human being. We had it happen that the suit got shipped where the forearm was about 5-6 centimeters too short.
Yeah.
In this case, we don't want you to ride.
Yeah.
We do not want you to ride. But if a person thinks, oh, it's a little bit too tight around my chest, we want you to ride.
Yeah, break it in.
There is differences. Break it in. There is differences. If the suit ends here instead of here, no, you're
Yeah.
not supposed to write because something went sideways. Some measurements maybe went sideways, wrong numbers got submitted, or whatever happened. We have to be aware of that, and we want to resolve these problems. So far, we were able to resolve the most of the problems. We had it happen that we had to replace suits, and we had it happen that we could not even replace a suit because there is people you can never meet the expectation, never.
Yep. So for our customers with Fast Tracks, um, yeah, you guys are doing a discount for us for the customers, and what is that, and how do they get that applied if they're interested in buying a suit?
They would go and see one of the coaches or Michael Malakar, for instance, and they would say, hey, I'm interested in a Mithos suit. They would provide their contact details, email address or phone number, or both is the best. And then Michael Malakar or one of the coaches would connect us with this person, and this would start the process. If this is happening at the Fast Tracks event, the client can get 10% discount on a cow suit and 15% discount on a kangaroo suit.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think that's probably all the questions I have there. Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to speak on that is important to you or anything, or did we cover most of it?
I think we covered quite a bit. I think it's pretty good. To me, it is very important again to highlight that many people, you know, have different expectations, and this is why our intro meeting is very important for us. We had it happen that people would say, oh, I don't want to get measured online, I want to go somewhere in person. And if this person is from the east coast of the United States or Canada, then I'm very sorry, I cannot fly there. We have good results doing online measurings, but to be honest, every now and then you notice that it is difficult to make everybody happy. So it is important to us that we provide a good quality suit, good quality fit. And if this can line up with our way we do it, then great. We are super happy to help you with a Mithos made to measure suit.
Yeah, and it's just seeing that you send a tape measure and stuff is awesome because you're getting a measurement done by the tape measure you provide, which is the one that you probably use on the other side. Where if I just used one that I have, we know those tape measures aren't all manufactured the same. Different brands, they could be off a little bit, and that'll make your measurement off. So that's a really awesome thing that you guys send that kit out.
And it's very comfortable for people. They don't even have to leave their house. It's a straightforward process. The only thing that I would like to mention too is we need you in your base layer. We need you in the base layer you wear underneath your leathers. It does not help us if you are there with some bulky shorts or with a fleece jacket like I am, because again, it's made to measure. It would fit like a garbage bag, and this is not our goal. We want to measure as close as possible to bare skin, and then we can add centimeters according to our experience. And so far, we had very good results with the fit of our suits.
Awesome. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you taking the time out to sit down with me and answer the questions and stuff. And I thought it was, extremely informative, and, letting all the customers and everything know, the option of Mithos Leathers and what you guys are about, and then, just the whole process, et cetera. It gives a lot of insight into it. So, again, happy to have you on board with Fast Tracks, and then, really appreciate you sitting down to just go over all these things with us. So thank you for doing that. That's pretty much all I got, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure to highlight some of our things that are important on our suits. It's always important for us to be known out there, especially that far away like you guys are. I've been there. I've ridden the track in Pittsburgh with Steve Vinny, and I'm not over there that often. I wish I could be there more, because we noticed, and when we are on site and we can explain from face to face, this is what helps the client to understand what he gets, and yeah, that's how you can promote the suit the best way. But we need you guys at Fast Tracks, and we thank you very much for being partner with Mithos Racing North America. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yeah, anytime you want to come down to Fast Tracks and ride Nelson Ledges, I got a second bike. It's waiting for you.
Cool. Thank you very much for the offer. I
All,
might as well sit in an aircraft.
all right, sir. Well, thank you very much. We'll wrap up here. Thanks for everybody for watching. Hope this was informative for everybody. And yeah, if you want to get a Mithos suit, talk to one of us, one of the coaches, Malakar. We'll get you set up and send over to Pattrick to get the process started. Or if you just have questions and maybe something that wasn't answered on here, go to the website, which I'll have in the description, and you can contact him, and he'll fill you in on everything you need. So, other than that, we're gonna end this, and thank you very much. We will talk to you all later.
Thanks. Bye-bye.